Yeah, see, the thing is that over the years, my family has had many issues with the government and the Gardaí and whatever else. I could tell you many stories of corruption when it comes to my family and the
Oh,
Gardaí.
yeah, you
So
can.
that's why everyone's like, "Oh, you just don't have the oh, you don't know what it's like to get your yeah, oh, you don't know what it's like to be discriminated. Okay. Oh, so they keep hitting me with something. I'm like explaining them stories like, oh yeah, I know what it's like to get pulled out of your bed by the guy that she corner. I know what the corruption's like. I'll tell you. I'm pretty open with it. In all my rap lyrics, I pretty much explain it. Getting pulled out of bed, your brother getting his head stumped on the ground by the guy that she corner, getting your door bolted in, being labelled as the next, oh, you're going to go in handcuffs into the prisons. So, yeah, I've got a lot of that when I was growing up, and they were like, they're so surprised because they're like, oh, we were told so different about Ireland that it's so easy for you. So it's like, no.
Yeah, we came with this style like because it's a small country like and everything like at least because we came from a hard country like to get like at least to buy stuff on the supermarket like you have to work a lot to get the how can I say the basic stuff.
Yeah.
And then we came here and see like much easier for us to do that. Like we think that it's the same for you guys. Like we always think that your life is easier than our like since the beginning. But like you're telling me like that there is whole difference.
No,
Different,
it's totally different. See, I understand from the perspective because I always try and do it in this way is that like the materials that we have in European society came from other continents and countries. Like I always say, the thing is that people don't realize that the most important thing in this world is in Brazil, and that's the Amazon, the oxygen, the lungs to the world. So we really depend on this. Like we really depend on the people to kind of fight for this. And they're like, oh, we forget about this because we're so involved in our own kind of political environment. But the thing is I understand from the perspectives because we have extreme violence, but when it comes to the likes of Latin America and Africa, they have really extreme violence and poverty beyond belief. We have it much easier, but we have our own situations and issues, and it's just because it's not as extreme, we still have very similar issues. But it's like people like to disassociate because it's like, oh, this is our issues. You can't experience our issues. Oh, you have your issues over there, but they try and put these similarities to it and don't see the commonality. And that's the thing as well, is that when I look at my friends, we try and see the commonality of each other. Oh, we have very similar problems, maybe different, but we have very similar problems of different things. And that's what we always like to do.
I read about your background, like that your family, you have parts of your family from one side, the parts of your family from the British side.
Yeah.
When I say the one side is the revolutionary
Yeah.
group of in Ireland. Maybe you already know what I'm saying because a friend of mine from my work told me like that I cannot say the real name of this group. But how is to growing up like with this knowledge about this difference on your own family, you know?
See. The thing is that I grew up with the perception is that
Perception.
I should accept one side and not accept the other. And I was kind of saying to myself, I feel a little bit uncomfortable here accepting one side and not the other, because I have a long lineage of English in my family, and then I have a long lineage of like Irish in my family. It's like I can't disown one for the other, because if it wasn't for that situation coming together, I would not be here right now. My mom would not be here. My granddad would not be here. So it's like that situation had to happen. And I think the thing is as well is because that's what we see all over the world, is that families have different disputes for politics and different reasons. But through the conflicts, you do have people that fall in love with one, and then you have fall in the other, and then they're like, oh, you're not, the family are like, oh, it's like the Romeo and Juliet, where they're trying to separate them from each other, and they're like, oh, you're not supposed to fall in love with him because we're at war with that family. And the same on the other side, it's like, you're not supposed to love her because she's our enemy. But it's like, love is uncontrollable, you know. And who you fall in love with is uncontrollable. That's the thing. Like,
that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to say.
but that's it. It's the human connection. That's what we all forget throughout the conflicts, throughout the wars, throughout the political divides. That we're all human beings at the end of the day. We all have skin. We all have blood. We all have hair. We all have this, and it doesn't matter because love kind of conquers through those paths in ways, and you can't kind of say to someone, oh, you have to choose one path for the other, because there's people that fall in love in them paths, you know.
I think when we are a child, like, we actually don't understand why people like set apart, you know. This is so hard, like, to grow up in an environment like that, because, like, as I say, like, what you like both sides, you know. And I'm just like a result of this, they get together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but how is like for example, the dinner in your family, like on a Sunday dinner, like, what do you guys like used to talk like?
Yes. see, the thing is over the year, like, do you know this the traditions that they'd have of the family sitting around the table and sharing whatever? Like, Irish society has turned a lot different than it used to be, because we used to be like that, huddling around the fire. Or we're really cold, we'd huddle around the fire and keep ourselves warm. But now traditions and society has changed, and now the things that like Latin Americans are doing now, where they're sharing and they're welcoming, they're doing this, that used to be Ireland, and now it's a different type of society. But families in Ireland, a lot of them are like kind of separating and getting away from each other. They don't want to be around family. They don't want to be around the family unit because of different disputes. But yeah, from my own kind of personal perspective, it's kind of changed over the years. It's kind of changed over the years. It's a lot different. Families are a lot different now.
Ó, não sai desse vídeo. Você acabou de assistir um corte do Talkeando Podcast, e para assistir esse episódio completo, o link tá bem na descrição desse vídeo. Ó, e não deixa de se inscrever no nosso canal e compartilhar com seus amigos e familiares. Valeu? Talkeando Podcast.